All right, y'all, we here, and today we're going to be talking about the best realistic outlook for the Milwaukee Bucks going into this next season. This is the final Eastern Conference team that's going to get its own video for its outlook for next season, but the rest of them I'm going to do in like kind of tier list. That's at least my idea. If y'all have something else y'all would want to see instead of that, or have a way to like modify that idea to make it better, let me know. Continue to put in the comments what y'all think I should say at the beginning of my video, what my little intro quip should be, like FTC, like Flight with the What to Do Flight Crew, or Kenny Beecham with the We Back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Milwaukee to me is a lot like Phoenix. This is going to be a video kind of similar to the one you saw yesterday, because it's like, this is a team that has a lot of questions outside of its top end talent, and the top end talent has underperformed and leaves people wanting it to be a true contender, but with the reality that with the reality being that it isn't one right now, or at least not to the extent that people wanted it to be, especially not when the Dame trade first happened. And I think, honestly, the biggest reason for Milwaukee not being a true contender, like a true contender in the East right now, is because it's the Jrue Holiday trade, bro. It's the fact that they're not just losing Jrue Holiday because, like, you lost him for Dame, so I'm not too mad at it. But it's the fact that you let him go to Boston. Like, I get that you didn't have any control over where Portland was going to send him, but, like, you probably knew that Boston would have been in the market for that type of guy. Didn't you? Like, I feel like you would have had to have known that. So, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like letting Boston get him was, like, the worst possible case scenario. They were already kind of your rivals in the playoffs. And then, well, they're like Miami, I guess, but like they were already kind of like your rival in the playoff. Well, Miami's more of a rival of Boston than you are. You get what I'm saying? They were one of your top rivals in the playoffs, and it's like you let your probably one of your top 2-3 most important pieces to your finals run go to that team, a team that was already in the finals and had already made the conference finals for like 5 straight years, and then you let them go to that team, and then immediately they won a championship. This isn't a video about that though. I can make one though if y'all want me to, but Milwaukee has that duo of Dame and Giannis, and they have a solid regular season coach in Doc Rivers, but Milwaukee has also played badly and has dealt with injuries, as 2 of its core guys are constantly battling injuries, like Dame, Chris Middleton, and then even Giannis has been battling some injuries with recently, or they have guys that are regressing due to age, simply like Brook Lopez, who's just regressing due to age. His defensive prowess isn't as dominant as it was like 2 years ago, even like it just isn't, or at least it wasn't last year. Part of that was the fact that the defense as a whole struggled under Adrian Griffin, and then Doc Rivers came in there and helped the defense get better, but then the offense got worse. There was a lot going on in Milwaukee last year. I didn't even agree with the firing of Adrian Griffin, for damn sure not to hire a guy like Doc Rivers, but maybe there was things behind the scenes that I don't know. But Milwaukee is a very interesting team to me, but luckily for the Bucks, they're in the East and not the West, so their odds of really making the conference finals or even the finals are higher than teams with similar problems like LA, like the Lakers, the Clippers, or Phoenix. I was just going to say LA, but there's 2 teams in LA because I'm slow. And Milwaukee also has a guy to me that's better than anybody else on those teams. Sure, you could, if you wanted to say Joel Embiid's better, I would completely disagree with you, but it's not like blasphemous to say that, but I'm just going to completely disagree and say that you're insane. But to me, Milwaukee has a guy that to me is like at very worst the 3rd best player in the world, arguably the best player in the world. So when you have that talent compared with the talent that we know that Dame can be, that automatically leaves hope for Milwaukee. And then you combine that with the fact that, hey, when Chris Middleton's healthy, he's giving you some good hoops. When you're all completely healthy and clicking, you're a top 3, top 4 team in the East at the very worst, and you have that playoff experience that leads me to believe that, hey, you could beat any of those teams in the East in the playoffs if you needed to. Now, granted, Doc Rivers chokes in the playoffs, which is why I wasn't a fan of them hiring him in the first place, because it's like when you do that Dame trade, your goal has to be championship. Outside of that 2008 Celtics team that is the most milk championship of all time, he hasn't shown that he can win a championship. He hasn't shown he can make it to the finals. That's just me, though. Maybe I'm a hater of Doc Rivers, kind of, low-key. Not of him, actually, but just like, it's just like, I hate that, like, in sports in general, I hate that we value certain people and what they've done so long ago in the past with no context. It's like there are certain people where it's like they don't deserve the value. I feel as if we're kind of dragging some past success without even thinking about the context of it, and I feel like Doc Rivers might be one of those people where it's like we're dragging that 2008 championship to lead y'all to believe that he can just win another one easily, to lead y'all to believe that, hey, he's one of those coaches that's always going to be top of the market, when he's just not one of the best coaches in the league. I'm sorry, he's not. And to be real, I don't consider the Bucks to be true contenders the way that I see, the way that I see New York and Boston. But they could, with the right matchups, they could very well make the finals. And once they're there, Giannis could easily once again prove to be a dominant player in the finals like he did in 2021, or even just a dominant playoff player like he proved to be in 2021. But I just don't see that being the case. Giannis is probably the best two-way player in the world. He's easily the best two-way player in the world. I don't know why I said probably. He's easily the best two-way player in the world. Sure, Victor Wembanyama could come and take that in a few years, but right now, Giannis is easily the best two-way player in the world. And to some people, he's the best player in the world. So it's like, realistically, they could very well win the finals. They could very well win the conference finals. They could very well be, you know what I'm saying, in that conversation, especially if they have a good regular season and Doc Rivers kind of makes the defense good again, but then helps the offense be a little better at the same time. Look at them, bro. Like, they want to do this while I make videos, bro. Like, do it after. I'm only making videos for like an hour a day. It doesn't take that long. Cole, relax, you beasts. I love them so much. But anyways, realistically, I'm going to say the best possible outcome for the Bucks this year would be to lose in the conference finals. I think, realistically, they very well could make the conference finals because, like, you could argue that teams like New York, you could argue that teams like Philly are better right now than Milwaukee on paper, and honestly, I agree with you if you say that. But we can't act like those teams are proven on the biggest stage or have players that are proven in the way that Giannis and the Bucks are, because that hasn't happened. Who on New York has been an MVP? Who on New York has taken their team to the conference finals, let alone the finals, let alone won a finals, let alone win finals MVP? Who on Philly has taken their team to the conference finals, let alone the finals, let alone win finals, let alone win the finals MVP? Nobody. So, like, you can't sit here and tell me that there's always absolutely unfathomable that Giannis could beat those guys in the playoffs given fully healthy matchups and a fully complete team, because even Chris Middleton has that finals experience. Brook Lopez has that finals experience that guys on those teams don't have. Sure, experience is one of those things that sometimes can get overrated as to how important it is, but I think it's also, when it comes to teams like as young as New York, well, not necessarily as young as New York, but just like so playoff inexperienced like New York, or teams that have choked like Philly, I think that experience does come into play a little more than it does with other teams. And it's not, to me, it's just not 100% out of the question to believe that the Bucks can figure things out and that they can be the second best team in the East behind Boston, because Giannis is more proven in the playoffs than other leaders in the East like Embiid and Brunson. And don't get me wrong, Brunson coached in the playoffs last year. He had no playoff drop-off whatsoever, if you ask me, but like still, he hasn't done it on like that, on a deeper, more sustained playoff run. And I'm not saying this will happen, because I genuinely have no faith in Doc Rivers, like, at all. Like, out of the three coaches, Coach Bud, Nick Nurse, and then Doc Rivers, I have the least faith in Doc Rivers. But I have faith in Giannis. And I believe that Dame will be better and more well-adjusted to Milwaukee this year than he was last year. And I think that's going to be a big piece that leads this Milwaukee team to just be better. It's just Dame being more like Dame, especially come playoffs. Like, you're going to need those Dame time moments more consistently, and you're just going to need Cash Money Chris to be healthy. So if you can pray that Chris Middleton stays healthy, if you can pray that Dame looks like Dame, or at least closer to Dame than he did last year, and if you can pray that Doc Rivers does not sell you, a lot can go right for the Bucks this year, a lot can go right for the Bucks this year, and they could go ahead and make a very, very deep playoff push, or they could disappoint like last year and lose in the first round. Now, last year, a lot of injuries happened. Dame got hurt and Giannis got hurt all in the first round versus Indiana, and they were playing their rival, so it just didn't happen. It was just tough. Like, they were a rival with Indiana all last year, so it was just kind of a tough situation. But just like Phoenix, to me, this team has a wide spectrum of possible outcomes this year, like very wide. So we'll see, man. Like, they could very well disappoint and lose in the first round, similar to Phoenix last year. Or they could very well make a deep playoff run, similar to what they've done in the past. So we'll see. I'm interested to see the Bucks season. The Bucks are a team that I'm going to have a really close eye on this season, just to see if things look better. And if not, you'll be hearing about it. I'll be telling you, because I'm a big fan of Giannis. So let me tell you, if things aren't better, you're going to be hearing about it. But yeah, man, tomorrow y'all are going to get the T-Wolves video. So this is a video for Wednesday. So y'all are going to get the T-Wolves video on Thursday. And then after that, Friday, I have another video just like this one. And you'll hear about that in the next video. And you'll hear about that at the end of the T-Wolves video. But give me an intro quip to say, please. I need one. Y'all are creative. Y'all can do this, bro. Community, come together. All of my 6 subscribers, come together. Figure it out. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Please make it good. Please. I can't be out here saying something corny, bro. I'm already, like, please. Please. Thank you. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate you for watching, man. Yeah. 2 more videos to record today, and then these are the videos y'all are going to be getting this whole week. Kind of feels kind of boring to give y'all the same type of video every day, but it's like I'm talking about different teams, so I guess. But like, let me know what other type of content y'all want to see with football season coming up. And like I said, if that tier list video is something, or like those tier list videos are things that y'all maybe don't want to hear, or like y'all want to hear it in a different way, let me know. I'll do that. I'll figure it out. All right, just let me know what y'all want.